I remember before WoW, I was playing Halo, or maybe it was after WoW. I was playing Halo on Xbox a lot, Halo 3 with my friends, local friends. But sometimes I would make friends over Halo. And I don't, honestly keep up with any of those people. I don't have no idea where they are, where they went, or anything. Sometimes I think about them though, like,
Oh,
oh, I remember this guy's name. I remember I played with. For some reason, I remember this random guy named Moonsea, the first guy I ever matched with in Halo 3 on Snowbound, and he was like some Irish
yep.
guy. But we all have a person like that who is just like this, right? Like,
Yes. I was gonna say, can I tell you a story?
please.
This is honestly, this is the first instance of anything traumatic in my life. Honestly, uh,
It's gonna
this
get
was
heavy.
like before my mom got cancer or anything, right? This is actually right before that. I remember
Okay.
I was about 6 years old, and this was right after the Xbox 360 had come out. This was right when I was playing Halo 3. Or I might have been 7 actually. This might have been like around the WoW time actually. When I got into Halo 3, my first ever online friend actually, now that I remember, was this guy named Chris. And he had an account that he shared with his brother.
Surely we're gonna play a Halo 3 mission as you say
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna have to back out of this mission real quick because it auto plays the next one. But
Oh, gotcha.
uh, while we figure this out, I'll start telling this story. But actually, let me go into detail about this actually because Chris fucking deserves it. He was a fucking legend, and I actually like. I still think about this guy regularly. Like whenever I fire up Halo 3, I think about this guy
Damn.
because he was when I started playing Halo 3, this is I don't know if people watching the show are gonna know about this about me, but Halo was like the very first game that I properly played. My dad got me on Halo C when I was let's play the last mission.
Okay.
My dad
Nice.
got me on Halo C when I was 3 years old, and he let me play. I remember I came into his office and I said, "I want to play," like as like a 3-year-old would say, and he sat me down and he let me play, and I'm very
Nice.
grateful to him for doing that. But the first time I ever really got to play Halo online with a friend of mine was Chris when I met him just over Xbox Live, just in a game. We
Just
were
a
like
random
around the
game.
same age. Yeah, just a random game. I think I remember it was that one map with like the flood stuff on it, but it's kind of green. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It has like
you're
mongooses on
talking
it.
about Isolation.
Yes, yes, isolation.
Good map.
And that was where I met him. And Chris and I used to like after school, we'd always get on and play together. And Chris and I used to play after school like every day. And like I would just like he was so reliable. Like I would always just play with Chris. Like I always knew he was gonna be on. And he was like the only person I'd really play with. We might have had like one other person that we would play with like in our party, but they weren't like a really like a regular. And I remember that his account name, and I maybe I'll have to cut this out, but I'm not sure. His account name was Q and Chris, and that was because him and his brother Quentin would share an account, and they would play like I think his brother would play like Gears of War and like shit like that.
As
And
brothers did, share accounts.
yeah, like his older brother was named Quentin. I didn't really talk to Quentin much. Like I was kind of like intimidated by him just because he was so much older. But like he was a cool guy. Like he was never mean or anything. But
Right, right.
um, Chris and I used to play together all the time for like a few hours after school. And then I remember at one point like we were supposed to play, and then just Chris never got on,
Hmm.
and like the account was offline for like 2 or 3 weeks, and Chris just never got on. And I was like, "What's going on?" And then finally, like a month later, I saw the account online and it was playing Gears. And I messaged and I was like, "Hey, like you want to play some Halo 3, Chris?" And and I got like an invite to like whatever, like an Xbox Live party or whatever, and I joined. It was Quentin. And Quentin told me, like, "Hey, like I don't really know how to tell you this, but," and like I could tell that he was kind of like choked up, and he was like, "Chris died in a car accident."
Oh my god.
And yeah, I'd never spoke to the guy again, obviously. But he was my first online friend, and he just died.
Wow. That's
And I just didn't really know how to deal with it at the time. And it honestly, like, that's what I'm saying. Is like,
how do you deal
even
with that at
playing this
all?
mission right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like even playing this mission right now. I think of him every time I play this mission.
Wow. That's heavy stuff.
But
I mean, it's heavy because it's like how it's not even heavy. It's not the right word. It's like, cause this is it's so detached from reality. And yet you shared so many memories, so much time with him, even though you never met the guy. You never even met the guy.
Like I never knew what he looked like. I never met him. But like we spent a hell of a lot of time together. You know, it's like, and I just, and like,
and that's what counts ultimately.
I think that's exactly. And that's the thing that makes me sad, honestly, is that I never got to meet him. And like, it just kind of, even, I'm sure that you can tell right now, like it's a weird thing to get upset over, but even just talking about it, like it still kind of upsets me.
There's a sort of inconclusiveness to it.
Yeah.
You never
I feel really sad that like I never got, like I was too young, but like I just never got to tell him how much like that meant to me.
Right.
Because like I had nobody else that like did that stuff with me, and it was good to have like a friend to do stuff with, and he was a really cool guy. Like we never fucking argued or anything, you know what I mean? Like we had a fucking always just had a great time. It was like every time I get home from school, we'd fucking jump on some Halo 3. We'd have a great time. We wouldn't think about anything. It was just it was great. And rest in peace, Chris. You know what I mean? Like that's all I can say. You know, it's like he was a great kid. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful skybox.
Chris is out there somewhere.
Chris is out there somewhere. Chris is out there somewhere lasering my fucking warthog with a Spartan laser by accident. Like
he is.
I remember that so vividly. That was like one of my first like multiplayer gaming memories that I remember is him accidentally hitting me with the Spartan laser and the warthog and me just like laughing so hard. But he was a great guy, and I just remember that was honestly probably the first time that I properly like as like a 7-year-old or whatever confronted my mortality. Where it was like, I mean, like it could have just as easily been me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like even like that, I think that's part of probably why I still think about him so much is like everything that's happened in my life since then, like just never happened, and it could have been Chris instead. You know, like
right.
Because we were very like I mean obviously I mean
you guys were
age,
similar. You guys were
we were very similar. We're like I wouldn't doubt that.
And he's just gone.
I wouldn't doubt for a second
day.
that what exactly. Like I wouldn't doubt for a second that he would have gotten into YouTube and stuff too. He was a real creative kid, and like everything was like
he could have been living the life you're living right now.
Exactly. Like he very much just as easily could have been me. Like today, you know what I mean? Like
they say people in your life are seasons.
Did they say that? What does that mean?
I don't know. That's from a Kanye song. But what I'm trying to say is that
sounds like something Kanye would say.
People are they're different. Well, we're all just different paths of consciousness. So
I definitely believe that.
In a very real sense, Chris is just you in a different set of circumstances.
Yeah, I mean,
we are
that's
all
honestly,
Chris.
like
that's the thing.
Yeah.
We're all Chris.
I was gonna say
Online.
that there's definitely been a few moments, and I don't mean to like misuse his memory or whatever, but there's definitely been like a few moments in like my like the online stuff that I've done where I've been faced with a really hard decision. I think like, what would that guy have wanted me to do? You know what I mean? Like,
damn. But that's the beauty of it. He lives on through that in a sense, in the sense that you remember him.
Definitely.
He lives on through your memory, through your, I guess, you hold a place for him in your mind still. Lives on through you.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one way to say it. And through whoever else, his family, his friends, anyone he's impacted.
Yeah. I've honestly thought where like I've really thought that I was like I should probably try and now that like I'm blessed with the ability of like having a Twitter and stuff like that, I have reach and everything where it's like
you could contact
I've definitely thought about being like, if anybody knows a guy named Quentin who used to have the gamer tag Q and Chris, hit me up.
Man.
Because I would definitely love to talk to his brother and be like, hey, like your brother had a really big impact on me. You know what I mean? Like
that'd be awesome. I think that'd mean a lot to him and to you. It would just be a great connection.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, like that's like what we're talking about with the metaverse and everything. We haven't even gotten to really like the true negative of it, but like that is the positive of the internet to me. Where
We've
it's
been
like,
talking about a lot of the positives, but
yeah,
at the same
it's funny.
time, there's negatives all throughout what we've been saying too.
Very true.
The fact that you just have this almost, not you specifically, but that there's instances where you could just have this. I guess both of our stories are like this. There's this sort of, I don't want to say it's
There's
not
a loss.
closure. It's just this
Yeah.
like void of emotion in a way. I don't know. I mean, you can make sense of it, but what I'm trying to say
I
is
really
that,
think that humans weren't built for that.
yeah.
Like in a sense, you know what I mean? Where
I've
it's
never
like,
met this person that I had some feelings for that I thought I loved, however real that may or may not have been. But I felt some intense feelings for this person, and you felt, more kinship, friendship with this person, and
brotherhood, some might even say, yeah, it was like, yeah,
and they're both just gone from our lives forever in different ways. But nonetheless, they were both people we never even really met, but we still had some abstract attachment to.
exactly. And that's like the tragedy of it is that we never really got to meet them. But I mean, I guess the blessing of it is that we got to speak to them. It's like,
Yeah, it is that. It is that. You're right. Because the essence of a human is still understood in these cases,
yeah. I mean, like, not to bring it back to me, but I'm gonna bring it back to me for a second, where it's like the I honestly think that that's probably why I have, in addition to the fact that my dad introduced me to it when I was young, but I think that's part of why I have, particularly to Halo 3, such an attachment to it. You know what I mean? Is it's like it, like in a weird way, like when that happened, I feel like that was oddly, like, I mean, I was really young, but it was still like that was the end of my childhood, really.
Wow.
Or like I started to understand
Wow.
what the real world was, and in a weird way, my last memory of childhood is Halo 3.
It died with Chris. Chris was
It
your
did. No, it really
child.
did.
You learned that day that people don't respawn in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, honestly, where it's like he's never coming back.